Earth, Miss Supranational, Miss Grand,
Miss Universe Ireland 2023.
Aishah Akorede.
The biggest tell of obviously the advancement of pageantry is even the fact that a black girl is even able to do pageantry in general, because back in the day black girls were not able to do Miss Universe. That was not allowed. Colorism in Asian countries is like huge. Like they wouldn't even provide you with darker skinned foundations and stuff. It will more be bleaching products that they would have on the shelves to make them lighter in complexion. Gave out period products and just sanitary stuff that women need. Like I didn't know what it was, like period poverty was, until we started doing the research. And like, did you see the numbers? I think it was like 85,000 people in Ireland or something. For us, we think that having a period tampon is a necessity, but for them it would be a luxury because they need to find somewhere to live.
I'm like, Aishah Akorede. I don't know how to say
It's Aishah Akorede.
Akorede.
Yeah, but most people say I say my second name wrong. Like, even at Miss Universe, when I said Aishah Akorede, Ireland, everyone was like all the Nigerians were commenting saying, are you ashamed to pronounce your second name? And I was like,
so there's people actually commenting on Lisa?
Yeah, like so many people were like commenting, like so many were like, do you not know how to say your second name? Say your second name properly, say it loud and proud. And I'm like, that's how I was taught. Well, actually I was taught to say my second name as Akorede. And up until like secondary school, I was calling myself Aishah Akorede. But that's just what like my teachers would call me, you know?
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got into secondary school and I started hearing people saying, oh, it's Akorede, started calling myself Aishah Akorede. Well, it turns out I found out in November that I'm still saying it wrong, and I still don't know.
From someone commenting underneath you when you're...
So many people, like so many people from like my tribe.
Right then? Where are you from? Where's your name from?
It's from like the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria.
And how, so like, what is the right pronunciation for it?
I have no clue. I could not.
Oh, you just know it's wrong because people are commenting.
I just know it's wrong because everyone's commenting. And whenever I speak to like someone who is from the Yoruba tribe, they would be like, no, it's, and then they'd say it. But then I'm like, well, I'm not going to learn to say that. Because like it's like different accents on different letters.
Yeah, like the way you pronounce my name, like I'm from Lithuania.
Yeah.
And like the way you pronounce my name in Lithuanian compared to English is completely different because the accents.
How do you pronounce it?
So it's not actually even Demi, my first name. It's Demonte.
Oh.
But then in Lithuanian, it's like Demonte.
Oh, I like both.
Yeah, so you're like, there's no, and to be honest, actually, it doesn't even bother me what way someone pronounces it because it's hard to pronounce for someone who's not, you know. So
I think for my first name, that's the one I want everyone to get right, though.
Yeah,
because my name's Aishah, but when I was graduating, they called me Isaiah.
Oh, really?
I actually, I was like, should I even walk on the stage? Like after 4 years of hardcore studying law, you cannot.
Yeah, you're a law student.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that now. That's what I wanted to ask you about that. But yeah, so Miss Universe Ireland. So is that what way does that work? Obviously, I want to say kind of how did you get into that? But then with the Miss Universe, is there a couple of Miss Universe Ireland and then you go to compete somewhere, or is that?
So basically, you kind of have to apply online. So it's different for every country, and like in Ireland over the years, they have changed how to do it because I applied in 2018, and it was so different applying then than it is now. So in 2018, we had to like go in and get interviewed by the director, the last Miss Universe Ireland, and then also, I can't remember him, but his name, he's always on RTE. So it was like 3 people that you'd be really intimidated by, and they're asking you all these political questions, making you walk and dance.
So you have to know about politics to get into any of this.
You just have to be able to answer questions and kind of be strong in your stance, but still respectful in that stance. So they could ask you anything. So it doesn't have to be political. It could be like emotional. It could be anything that they could possibly ask you. And then if you're able to basically answer anything, then I guess you could, like, you're someone that would be moldable into like a quote unquote Miss Universe, because obviously like you would be getting interviewed, you would be
and what if you didn't know the answer?
Then I guess you say I can come back to you on that, but it took me a long time to be able to answer basically anything that came my way. At the beginning, I kind of was like, I'd get really shy, really like choked up because I didn't know what to say to most things that I was being asked. But now if you ask me anything about anything, I could literally answer.
How long are you doing this?
Since I was 18, so 6 years now. Yeah, so I basically like kind of practiced by getting people in my life to ask me anything about anything at any random time. So like they might be like, oh, what do you think the youths can do to solve the climate crisis at this point in time? And I'd be like, oh my God, how am I going to
What way would you answer that? Go on, give us that.
I'd probably just say we're blessed enough to have technology and social media to be able to constantly talk to anybody in this world at any time and share the effects of what the climate crisis
You're like hard
do.
questions on that.
Yeah, so basically like there's a beginning, middle and end, and I did get a lot of training on that by previous Miss Irelands and previous Miss Universes as well to be able to answer the questions, and I read a lot of books and stuff like that. So
there's books on this.
Yeah.
That's mad, yeah.
Loads of coaches.
Yeah, because you'll see it like in films, like American films of people like doing pageants and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like thinking, is it like that?
Like if I watch, I did watch back Miss Congeniality about like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I actually recently watched that as well.
I haven't. It's on Netflix now, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, who's your one that's in it? Is it
Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, it is that one that I watched that as well.
Yeah. So
would it be like that?
Little bits and pieces you'll be like, yeah. And then other bits you'll be like, nah, that's exaggerated. But like the majority, yeah.
Yeah. Waving and stuff.
Yeah, very much so. Like if like it was obviously it's a lot more different in Ireland because Ireland isn't really big into pageantry like that unless it's like culturally. But
I think that's one of the questions that I was going to ask you. Like what is the difference like between like obviously Miss Universe Ireland, the way they take it, they probably don't take it as serious, where other countries they probably put in more work. And
I'd say the difference would definitely be the westernized mindset, but also the advancement in like feminism and stuff like that, because I'd say that would be the biggest like rebuttal to pageantry is the rise in feminism and people believing that it's not really feminist to be like subjugating women to, you know, putting on a bikini, walking on the stage. And I don't know, like even just the way we did it our year, like we had like numbers on our arms and I was like, we kind of seemed like goats being sold off. Like that's what it kind of felt like in a way. Yeah. But honestly,
didn't feel like you were like a person.
Yeah, but I was talking to the receptionist in my old job and she's like 67. And she told me that back in the day, they used to kind of like weigh you and they used to like have a string tied around you and be like, oh yeah, you're too big to be in it.
Like your waist is too big and stuff like that, yeah.
So obviously with that being the perception of, you know, millennials and older of pageantry, of course, they're not going to want to be accepting of that because we are in such a more accepting world and accepting society.
So we all like, it doesn't really matter. That's why I feel like what a lot of people say, if anyone's listening to this, they're like, oh, I'd love to do that, but I'm not. They'd be probably thinking, I don't look like that. Or so like but, it doesn't matter when you're white now or you're...
Yeah, it doesn't, like none of that matters anymore. And I think the biggest tell of obviously the advancement of pageantry is even the fact that a black girl is even able to do pageantry in general, because back in the day, black girls were not able to do Miss Universe. That was not allowed, not a thing. And then like Miss USA and stuff, like obviously that's where it kind of originated from. So from there, and then obviously like, so there's that. And then they were in Miss Universe, they've removed the height requirement. They removed the
there was a height requirement. You had to be a certain height.
I think you had to be like 5'7", 5'8". I'm 5'6.5". And then obviously Joanna Cooper from a few years ago, she was like between 5'3" to 5'5". I cannot remember, but she was a lot shorter and she got really far.
Is that not nice for girls to be short? I'd love to be like a smaller height.
I've always wanted to be taller.
Probably because you're into the pageants and stuff.
I think it's because I always wanted to be a model. Like really wanted to be a model. So I always wanted to wish that I was taller, because growing up I was always the shortest in my friend group. I wasn't until like third year I got a growth.
You always want what you don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to be like tiny. Like,
Yeah, that's the pain.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
like 5'7", but I'm not even that height. I'm not even that tall. I'm not even that height.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just look like
I think the short girls just really look petite and cute all the time. Like, yeah.
size 3 feet and all that.
I don't think they're able to. They're like probably struggling to find shoes as much as like a size 5 would struggle to find a pair of heels as well.
That's mad. I don't understand that. Like, why is there a height thing for models and stuff like that?
I wish there was like. I feel like a lot of that has changed a lot though. Like now,
like
even at the runways, we see a lot more shorter models, a lot more plus size models, and same with Miss Universe as well. Like this year was the first year. My year was the first year that we had this girl. Her name was Jade, and she was a plus size. She is a plus sized pageant queen. Like she was representing Nepal, and like she got into top 20, I think.
And when you say plus size,
yeah,
I'm like, was she even like plus size? Because half the time you'll see, do you ever see your own websites and you'll see plus size?
That's the thing. I've
and
noticed.
you're like, they're just normal.
Yeah, I think that's because back in the day,
you were seen as plus size unless you were
like especially in the modeling world, like they all wanted like obviously size 0. So here like size 6, size 4, like that in their head was the standard to be able to showcase their clothing.
So size 0 or size 4 was a standard.
Yeah, like size 0 would be a size 6 in UK sizing. So that would have been the standard that they would have used to like showcase their clothing in
so
like
0 in the US and 6 over here.
Yeah. So that would have been the standard. And then obviously as time, so to use a size 10 model would have been to them plus size. Whereas to us, we're like, that's very, very normal to be a size 10, size 12, you know what I mean? So I'd say that's probably why a lot of people are always kind of like, hello, like even till now in the modeling industry, they would count a size 8, size 10, size 12 model as a plus size model, when to me, that should never ever be the case. Like, you know, but that's just always how it's been in the industry. But now it's becoming more normalized to use models of so many different shapes and sizes to showcase, you know, products and clothing. And I think that's really important, because how is anybody supposed to kind of choose what they're going to wear based off of what it looks like on a size 4, you know, skinny, you know, 5'11" girl when you're, you know, size 14 and you're 5'4", and you know, just know that's not gonna look the same on you. So I think it's really important that, and I'm grateful that it is changing a lot more now.
I feel like now you can go into websites and stuff and click on like I see you can see the like the plus size or whatever they want to call it, or like they have maternity sections and stuff. I seen that on Pretty Little Thing.
Sometimes shopping there.
Do you? Yeah.
Oh, it's so comfy.
Oh, it's all like oversized.
Yeah. But honestly,
it's good that they have all these sections to be able to say like, oh, like if someone is pregnant, what is it going to look like? And you've done a lot of modelling for big brands as well, haven't you? I think I have Cash Beauty, Ease Locks Hair, done stores. Yeah, so what was that like?
And that was years ago though.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so I haven't actually done like any like proper shoots in probably 2 years.
The pageant work probably took over a lot of time.
Took over my life. And obviously I started working 9 to 5 as well. So I used to model kind of full time. So I did do a lot of stuff for like Aeronauts. I did done stores a lot back in the day. Yeah, it was interesting. Like it depends on the type you're talking about, because obviously done stores would be more e-commerce. So it would be more like change.
Clothes, like
like, you know, like eye clothing and stuff like that. Like those type of brands, like they just have a lot of stuff that they want to showcase really quickly. So you kind of just have to be able to pose, go, change into the next outfit. It's like a fashion show, but they're taking your photos and you're going. Whereas like for like stuff like Cash Beauty and stuff like that, like beauty stuff, those shoots are more fun, because you just kind of get to, like, obviously it's just mainly from like your shoulders up. So you just kind of get to, so you get to like move your face more than moving your whole body. And it's just kind of like showcasing like specific products. So it's not as hard, but obviously it still is hard to kind of like only be able to make so many movements with your face without using the rest of your body, you know. But like I love modeling, like I really love it, but I just feel like there's not as many opportunities for Black girls in Ireland. Obviously,
Still, do you think that's still an issue? Like,
yeah, definitely, but it's understandable because we're 2% of the population. So of course, like, you're not going
they
to
want
be...
to suit more of the population.
Yeah, like, it makes more sense to do that. And I'd say, like, let's say obviously during the Black Lives Matter movement, that's when the majority of brands were like pushing for Black girls to be in the front and center because they needed to showcase that they are willing to be diverse. But that has kind of died down as well. And in Ireland as well, like, it's more, there's main models that they'd use for like different campaigns. So like, you'd kind of have to be like the it girl at the time to be getting that many jobs as well. So a lot of the Black models from when I was modeling have kind of like all like quote unquote left their agencies, or they're kind of gone freelance now and stuff like that. So yeah, just really like it's an ever changing industry. But now I just more accept things that I want to do. So if it's not something that I will be comfortable with, I'm not going to do it. And I kind of look for things that are more quote unquote impactful, because that's kind of the route I'm steering my life in, is seeing how like I can impact people through different fields in my life. So like the next few shoots I will be doing are like, one is going to be with specifically like a group of just Black girls who like wouldn't have really had experience working with a fashion model. So like the Black hairstylist is Black, the makeup artist is Black, all that stuff. And then the other one I'm doing is actually with an Irish. So I'm kind of like, even with my makeup as well, everything I do is like, just so you know, my concealer is Black owned. Just so you know, my blush is Irish owned. Like, everything on my face is either Black owned or Irish owned as well. So it's kind of like, I'm kind of like trying to make sure that I am impacting at least someone with every little move I make as well. So that's how did we get
And your boyfriend as well on Clothing Brand, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's outside there.
Oh, is he? Yeah. He's very good. Did he drop you up, did he?
Yeah. He's
And
eating some African food in the car.
And do you do a lot of modelling for his clothing brand?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
What's the clothing brand called?
Ocean One Official.
I have to have a look now. I just seen that, but I didn't have a look. What type of clothing is it?
Like streetwear clothing, that type of stuff. I never actually modeled streetwear before meeting him, so it was really different. It was weirdly difficult to get into that, because I never used to model like fitness or anything like that, because you have to actually exercise to do that, because they expect you to jump up and down like for God knows how long in their shoots.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I would always say no to that, because I may look fit, but I'm not fit at all.
Well, I'm like, what is it? Just like normal, just gym clothes?
Yeah, like he doesn't do gym clothes, so it's literally just streetwear. So like track suits or like t-shirts and stuff like that, and it's all like handmade by him as well.
But I'm like, why would they make you jump up and down? Because you see like Under Armour and they're just standing there.
Yeah, and some of the shots you'd be standing there, but they always want like, they always want like backup shots as well. So like sometimes they'd make you like jump in the air and like just do all these strange poses. They might not use them, but for like a lot of the fitness shoots that I was brought onto, like I'd have to like pretend I'm exercising or actually exercise, and I'm like, I cannot do this. I cannot be shooting and then breathing heavily in between every single shot.
Showing mad faces and all. Yeah.
But for his clothing brand, it's just streetwear. So like he'd make tees and stuff, and everything's like handmade and everything. So
so he makes everything himself?
Yeah. I've learned how to do it too, actually.
Oh really? Yeah. You having your own clothing brand now soon?
No, I definitely wouldn't go into that. So it seems too stressful, and just, I kind of want a soft life.
Yeah. And so where was I going with this now? So you said you work now, so you have a full-time job. Do you have your own business as well?
Yeah. So
is that what that is, or did you?
No, I started working 9 to 5 in May 2022, but I left my 9 to 5 in December last year. So like December 2023.
Yeah.
It was a like law, 9 to 5, like corporate law. So I was doing corporate governance. Basically, my title was corporate compliance consultant. So basically, I was just helping companies make sure that they're compliant with the law, and I was doing that in an accountancy firm, which I loved. like I still love, like even every day I'd be texting my colleagues and the partners in the firm being like, I kind of miss you and all. And they'd be texting me all the time as well. Like it's literally like a family. But I knew I needed to leave because, and everyone saw it in me as well. Like when I won Miss Universe, and then obviously running my non-profit as well, like, and then doing exams as well on top of that.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was just a lot. Yeah. So I was like really, really burnt out. And I personally just couldn't handle all of that at once. So I just knew I had to sacrifice at least one thing going in to 2024 so that I can focus on other goals in my life as well. Because I really knew I wanted to get into public speaking and more, because I've been doing public speaking since I was 19. But I knew I wanted to get into it, like kind of get paid for it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just knew if I'm going to add more stuff to my roster,
you need to let something go.
Something. And for me, silly, like in a silly way, when I look back, I don't know why I would choose the main source of income.
Yeah, but it's really the least thing that.
Yeah, it was just taking up the most time, obviously, because I'd have to, like, when I'm back from work at 5, I'm like, my mind is already ready to sleep. I don't want to study. I don't want to do all this. So I was cramming everything into my weekends, which just made me so burnt out because I just didn't have any time
to yourself,
to rest. Or to myself. But now I feel like I'm getting, like, I'm very productive with a lot of stuff, and I'm still making money, which praise God for that, because I don't know how I'd survive. But I'm grateful to know that obviously when I am ready to go back to working full-time, which I know for certain I will be going back to working full-time. I'm not one of those girls that wants to be a business owner for life. Like, I love the 9-to-5 life, which is very rare to hear apparently these days. But
I feel like you can just switch off then when it's your own business.
That's the thing.
There's no 9-to-5. It's your head is just constantly racing.
That's one thing about business owners that I'm sure you definitely understand, is that
sometimes I'm like, I'd love a 9-to-5. Because just clock out and then that's it, done.
Because you're always literally thinking about business, and for you it's not like, okay, 5 o'clock I'm going to clock off, because you might have so many other things to do and it's you that owns it, so you kind of have to get it done. I was actually on a business entrepreneurs call last week, like a panel discussion, and it was all business owners of like different stuff, like tech and like agriculture and all this stuff. And then there was me with my little non-profit initiative as well.
Wait, so it's a non-profit? Is it Recrown Ireland?
But the lads on the business call were like, because at 10 o'clock we were all talking and I was the only girl on the call, and they were all like, isn't it wild that we're the only ones active on LinkedIn at this time? It's always the business owners. And I was like, because there's no time to rest. You have stuff to get done and you don't have anyone else to do it for you, you know? And in a 9-to-5, there is going to be someone at the top who's doing exactly what us employees are doing, you know? So I'm sure you can definitely relate though.
Yeah, definitely, and you have another business then, is it Crown Craft Coaching? So that's what is that, coaching other people that want to
get into pageantry, to get into modeling,
and what, like, have you got a lot of clients that
I haven't even started like proper. I've posted a few videos.
It looks like a really new kind of page.
It is really new. Like, Recrown Ireland has been established for 5 years now, so like you can scroll and see, okay, this has been here for long enough. They know what they're doing. Whereas for Crown Craft Coach, I feel like I'm starting a new baby, and like it's actually like, but this one is obviously going to be hopefully profitable. So it's really like different for me. You know,
not even end up going back to your 9-to-5.
Hopefully, like I actually do.
That'll probably still end up being working for yourself, and
we'll see. That's why I'm saying like it's going to be coaches. So I'm hoping that I will be able to get other people to do the coaching, and I really want it to be passive. So I want there to be like videos and courses that can be sold instead of me having to physically be there like I have to be.
That's a really good idea, way of thinking of it. Just kind of none of it is one-to-one or actually in person, that it's all like buy the course and then you kind of go do that yourself.
Unless the money comes through, then there's no one-to-one at this point, because for Recrown, obviously anyone can call me at any time. Like, my number is literally on the website, my number is on the Instagram, my number is everywhere, so anyone can contact me at
and there's
any time
no
if they
you
need some.
like that's really a lot of work that goes into
So much work, and it's very overwhelming as well.
Yeah.
Because
So what do you do? Like, to kind of go into detail more about that? What is Brief Brown Ireland?
So it's a safe space that I started in 2019 for women to feel comfortable, confident and aware. So basically originally it started off as just events to basically help young girls gain confidence and stuff like that. So we would have like events called like self-confidence or like breakdown before breakthrough, and like our little niche in our events, which it turns out other people had this idea and I only found out a few months ago, and I was like, I thought I made that up, you know. But basically people would write down like something difficult that they're going through or something difficult that they have gone through, pop it in a balloon, we'd blow the balloons up and then we'd pop it at the end of the session. So like kind of to pop the doubts away or pop the negativity away or whatever it was. So it started off as events, but then the pandemic hit, so we couldn't actually continue to do the events, you know. So we did try to do them online via Zoom, but it just wasn't the same. So I was like, what else can we do? So then we started doing challenges to like raise awareness on different mental health issues like suicide prevention and stuff like that. And the challenges actually did go really well. Like over 100 women like entered our challenges. So it was like, okay, like this is actually a community that we're building here. So I was like, let's create a website and start posting blogs on whatever anybody wants to raise awareness on, so people could actually write their own blogs. The website is still there, and I have blogs in the drafts that I keep forgetting to post.
That other people have sent you, like?
Yeah, so it's like blogs on, you know, insecurity, or blogs on like,
would you read through them first before you
yes, 100%, just in case. Just in case there are some that would be like really dark that I'm like, okay, I don't think I can post this, you know. But yeah, it's on different topics like natural hair, like what's happening in Palestine, or, you know, like all these things that we've been posting since 2021, 2020. So that's the other element of it. And then
what made you even think of that, like?
Of which?
Of the company, like?
Originally it was more of a situation of I didn't feel like I had my own like I do have a big sister, don't get me wrong, but I didn't feel like I had like a present big sister because she moved to England when I was 12.
Yeah.
So like it was just really hard because I was going through a lot. I was getting bullied a lot in secondary school and in uni. So for me, I was like, I know I'm not the only one experiencing this, and I know there's a lot more girls out there that, you know, are going through such tough times, but they don't have a community to talk to. Yeah. So for that reason, I was just like, I'm going to just start off as like events, and people can come and we can all talk to each other. And then
did you have a high following or platform to kind of go back on?
Not
to
really.
Kind of, you just posted out on your own like social media?
I'd say my Snapchat was really like quote unquote popping at the time. I used to kind of be big on Snapchat growing up. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people watched me, and a lot of people would like stop me on the streets and be like, oh my God, that's aristocratic princess is what I went by back then. And so that would be probably why most people would come, because I don't want to say like fans, but I had a following of like young black girls and boys.
So you just posted that on your Snapchat?
Yeah, then people just came. Like one of our events, like there were over 60 people that were in secondary school and uni that came.
And that was literally like right at the start of it, like your first few events?
Yeah, like that was on my second event. I think it was like literally a month in. So yeah, and I was lucky at the time because my uni as well let me use their rooms for free and stuff like that. And my lecturers would give me advice on what topics to do next or what else to do. Like I had I still have a lot of support behind it. Like even like with a lot of the campaigns we do, it will be random girls that have followed Recrown for years that would be like, oh, I think you should raise awareness on period poverty. And I'll be like, I have no clue what that is.
Yeah, I seen you gave it. What did you do then?
So we gave out period products and just sanitary stuff that women need in their, like when they're going through their period, like when they're on their periods. Like I didn't know what it was, like period poverty was, when that girl texted me to do
I didn't
campaign.
think that was a thing over here.
I
thought it was more like poorer countries. I didn't think it was an issue here.
Me neither, until we started doing the research. And like, did you see the numbers? I think it was like 85,000 people in Ireland or something, I'm not sure. I might
Because they
be
can't
making that up.
afford these things.
Yeah, like a lot of people can't afford period products. And we don't really think of that because we forget like there's women in homelessness that would rather buy food, or we forget that there's like families who, you know, are struggling in general. And like even my family, obviously I wouldn't say I've struggled. I know that I'm a very like privileged black girl, like more privileged than probably the majority, and I'm grateful for that. But like my mom just made sure to never let us see her struggle when my dad like left, because I don't know why, like she just like would always put on this strong front. But like now looking back, I do wonder like how she was able to, you know,
There was how many of you was there?
5, and she
Five,
put
yes,
3 of us were in uni at the same time. And she paid in full for all 3 of us to be in uni. And then my big sister as well had just finished as well, like 2 years before I got into uni. So like, and she was paying for all of our unis in full because we couldn't get Susie because obviously her income was too high. And then on top of that, like she was still putting food on the table, still giving us like a weekly, like pocket money and stuff like that. And I was just like,
what did your mom do? If you know
she is a senior medical scientist in a lab in Nace. So like she does work really hard. Like she does a lot of night shifts. Like literally, like back then she would probably be doing 4 night shifts a week. And then like when she gets home, she'd sleep. But like it's the little things that I didn't notice. Like she wasn't eating because she was trying to make sure that we were okay. You know what I mean? Like it's all those little things that you look back on and you're like, okay, like we technically should have been struggling, but because she decided to
put herself through a lot to make sure that you were okay.
Yeah, so I was just thinking like obviously that's my family, but then like in my church as well, like there's a few other black families that unfortunately their dads had left too, and they ended up going homeless straight away because that was a sole earner in their families and stuff like that. And like it's all those little things that you don't really realize that, okay, like there's a lot of people going through a lot, and for us we think that having a period pad or a tampon is a necessity, but for them it would be a luxury because they need to, you know, find somewhere to live. So like you just don't really realize, especially with like the homelessness crisis being like on such a like it is a crisis in general, like you don't realize how many people are really just simply don't have something that we take for granted every single day. And it's not even something that we should say that it's something we take for granted, because
it wouldn't even cross my mind half the time that that's something that someone else wouldn't have.
And it's just like concerning at times when I look back and think that.
And that'd be so embarrassing for a girl. As I've seen that you said a lot of girls leave school because they don't have these things.
And
that would be so embarrassing for a girl, especially in school,
so
bullying and stuff. And
really sad, and it causes loads of infections as well if you don't have the like right products. So like it's such a huge effect it has on girls. And then like I just think obviously Lidl is doing their own initiatives by like letting people come in before 11 or something like that can't afford it to get free products. But I think like
really, I didn't even know they do that.
And then the Irish government are trying to like put in new legislation in
there's
place.
in areas now. I've went to toilets sometimes in certain places, and there's like free stuff there for
now
you to
they're
take.
doing that as well. Like a lot of places are more aware of what women are going through, so they are providing more, which is great. I'm so happy about that. And like it's just something that I feel like more people need to know about, and something that the government, in my opinion, need to legislate to allow women in need to have it for free. In my opinion, everybody should have it for free, but like mainly the people who really need it for free. But that was our campaign. Like that campaign is done for now. We still have more products because we did get funding to be able to afford, I think, €1,500 worth of products.
Oh my God.
So we still have a few more that we will probably give out during like Christmas, or we might go out with some charities to give out. But that campaign is kind of pushed aside, and we're focused on something new this year.
Do you wanna? Can you share it or?
So this year I really, really want to focus on women's health in general. So while I was doing Miss Universe and Miss Universe Ireland, there were a few girls who currently have endometriosis, and I didn't realize like obviously like so many women suffer with that. So
that's like ovaries kind of.
I don't even know too much about it. It's something that I am currently like research in as well. So that's why I wanted to focus this year on women's health, so that women can be aware of, you know, the little things that maybe you're not aware that, oh, like these cramps may actually mean this or mean that. Because even with me as well, like I get the worst period cramps ever. But when I go to the doctor, it's just like painkillers or birth control, and I'm like, I don't really want to go on birth control. Like that.
They don't do any tests, and they just hand you something to get you out the door.
Like now it's just like, I feel like doctors are doing that so much now.
I only learned a while ago that a GP, if you have a medical card, they only give you 45 minutes.
Oh,
you're only allowed 45 minutes if to get out the door. It's how many they get in. It could be slightly wrong with that. Then I went to a doctor's there only a while ago, and I was gone like, because I heard like say this doctor was really good, so I switched me doctors, and I went in and he turned around to me and he was like I was like, can I ask you something else? And he was just like, he turned around and was like, no, your medical card, your 45 minutes is up. And I actually just looked and I was like, I actually know I was going to private and paying, like. And he actually just looked at me and he was like, all right, what was your question? And I was just like, what? I'm never coming back to you. Like, so I can't believe you actually just said that.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so like,
it's the audacity for me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like doctors
to actually even say that.
They're getting so cheeky.
Yeah, like that's what I was literally like, I was like, oh my God, like I was like, that just literally clarified everything for me. Because, and then you'll always see like a lot of like if I've overgone to doctors, like they're already at the door. Like obviously normally my normal GPA now, I went with a medical card say years ago, but then, you know, like they're already at the door after a certain amount of time waiting for you to get up and walk out. So you're like,
because even me as well, like I went to the doctor, I think it was 3 weeks ago, because I was having issues with my breathing. Like I still am. Like sometimes like I keep making this weird noise whenever I breathe. And I went to I called my doctor. I'm like, hey, can I book an appointment? Not till like next Friday. I'm like, I'm having issues with breathing. Like, do you have any appointments? Like, yeah, you can come at the end of the day. Okay, no problem. Pulled up at the end of the day. Went to my GP. I was about to say his name, but I won't be cheeky because he's cheeky. Basically,
just so not so.
Yeah, of course. No, next time I call, I'm gonna ask for like a different doctor, and I'd rather wait the week than go to him, because I said to him, oh, like I'm having issues with my breathing, and he's like, oh, it's probably anxiety. I was like,
it's probably, well, I want to kind of know.
I was like, it's probably respiratory. He's like, nah, a lot of girls your age are struggling with anxiety. There's two things I could prescribe you for that, either antidepressants or birth control. I was like,
no,
how
even
about you check my heart first, maybe? Or, you know what I mean? Like, check my breathing. I was just like, honestly, it's fine. And he's like, okay, anything else you need help with? I was like, no, I'm fine. I guess I'll like leave. Like, I don't, I'm just like,
it's mad.
The quickness to just prescribe the antidepressants and the birth control nowadays is actually insane. Like, I never said I was sad.
To you, like.
I never said there's anything like that. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, honestly, obviously, I know you could be prescribed antidepressants for loads of different reasons, but I told you I'm struggling to breathe.
Yeah, but I feel like they shouldn't be kind of like throwing these things at you, like to kind of cover up something that is probably there.
Honestly, yeah, because you never know what else that can result in. And I think it's really concerning. Obviously, now being older, like looking at the things that they're so willing to prescribe us makes you kind of second guess, like, do you care? You know what I mean? Like, it's all these little things that you're kind of like thinking, okay, like, is this, it's the fact that we can look and say, this might cause me something else. Whereas when we were younger, we would just blindly be like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I just think nowadays, especially with the rise of like TikTok and stuff like that, it makes it so much easier to even just
you diagnose yourself on TikTok, you do, than a doctor's. You find out your answers quicker than than actually going to the doctor.
Yeah, TikTok is the new Google. It's the new WebMD. It's the new everything.
Like I was going to the doctors for years with loads of symptoms. I've MS, and I only got diagnosed at 21. But I was going into my GP like every couple of months, and then going into A&E. I went to A&E like 3 times, and then on the 4th time I actually was like, do you know what, if they're not gonna like give me a full body scan, I'm not leaving. But then they actually turned around and was like, do you know what, every time I kept going in, they were like, we don't know what's wrong with you. Like one of the times it was like, oh, I think you just had a really bad flu. Like
That will happen to me last January.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, they turned around and said like, oh, it must have been like from the symptoms that I was having double vision.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and I was like, that's from a really bad flu.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, it seems
mad.
nowadays that if you are going to the doctor, it is one of those situations of if you don't demand that you're going to stay, they're not going to check you. Because that happened to me as well when I had pneumonia, and I went to the doctor 3 times as well, A&E, and they kept sending me home. Then the 4th time my mum came with me and she gave out. So I'm just like, this girl's been complaining that she's been having issues. She's come here this many times and you still haven't checked anything. So then I was like, check stuff. Yeah, I had pneumonia, and like they literally said, oh, if she hadn't come in within the next 2 days, she would have died. And it's like, bro, I came in 3 times already. Are you okay? Yeah. Like they actually
they just want to send you out. They don't actually. That's why I feel like everyone should be getting like a full body scan like every year.
100%. Like I think that
shouldn't be unless you're actually like coming in. You shouldn't have to go to the hospital about 20 times for them to be like, right, okay, like there's an issue
you
here.
You actually have to tell them what's wrong, and you have to over exaggerate everything for them to take you seriously as well. Which is sad that you have to do that, because it does make you feel really, really unheard and unseen as well, especially if you're like already down physically, and then these people that are supposed to be there to help you are not there to support you, or diminishing or dismissing what it is you're going through. Like it's not fair at all. It's something that does need to be discussed, but unfortunately I am not versed in that field. But I do want to be, so that's why we are going into the topic of women's health and well-being for Recrown Ireland this year. So I'm really excited to learn more about it, and hopefully collab with charities and stuff.
And what, sorry?
And hopefully collab with other charities and stuff.
Right, okay. I thought you said labs there for a minute. I was like,
no.
So go into more scientific side.
No, I wasn't really great at science and skill at all.
And so any other plans then for the future?
I don't know. I want to do another pageant.
Yeah.
Like I am hoping, like I do want to do another pageant. It's so weird because obviously I'm already Miss
What
Universe.
are the steps? Like, do you go for Miss Ireland first and then you go for Miss Universe? Or?
No, they're completely different pageants. So Miss Ireland, my friend is currently Miss Ireland. We did law together in school, which is so weird that we won on the same year. But so Miss Ireland goes to Miss World, and then Miss Universe Ireland goes to Miss Universe. So that's how it is in Ireland. Whereas like in other countries,
so
you might go.
Where did you? So
I went to Miss Universe.
And then did you win that one then?
No.
Okay. But then what happens with that afterwards? So if you win that, or
if you win, you become Miss Universe, and then the first runner up in Ireland would become the new Miss Universe Ireland. But if you don't win, then you just but you.
Where do you go to the Miss Universe?
It's a different country every year. So the year I went to was in El Salvador.
Like the Eurovision, slightly.
Yeah.
The way you walk, like, is it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So my year was El Salvador, but next year it's going to be Mexico.
Right, okay.
So every year it's different. Like the year before me was...
And do you get paid for like
some countries do. Like a lot of countries...
pay you to be doing this.
Yeah. Like a lot of countries would pay like their girls, or they'd win a lot of prizes and stuff. Like most countries, they win cars, they win like in South Africa, I think you win a house. And a like Merc, and then like loads of money. Same with Philippines. Like these people become sorted for life. Do you get what I mean? Like
what do you get anything here?
No. I get the crown for a year.
That's it.
And then I return it for the next crown.
And then that's it. It's mad, isn't it? Why do you think that? Like, why do you think it's like that in different countries compared to Ireland?
I'd say the main thing, and this is what one of the directors in Ireland actually like said to me, that literally had like a little click in my head. So obviously in those countries, like let's say for example like the Philippines or Thailand or something, like it's really hard, like like the American dream, but like in Ireland, like that's kind of like everything is provided for you. Like education is free and uni is free, like for people who like for Susie and stuff like that. And then obviously if you don't have Susie, it's because you can't afford to go to uni and stuff like that. So Ireland, we are very privileged in Ireland, whereas like in those type of countries it would be like not as much privilege. So a lot of women would rely on their beauty to hopefully get to the next steps in their life, which is obviously a big thing in their countries, because even like the shade of like tan you are in Asian countries is a big deal. Like the lighter you are, like colorism in Asian countries is like huge. Like they wouldn't even provide you with darker skinned foundations and stuff. Like I remember growing up, I never thought there were dark skinned Indian people. I thought all Indians were light skinned. Never knew.
What do you mean they wouldn't? So what do you mean they wouldn't provide you?
Like if you go to a shop, like, you know the way back in the day, I'd go to a shop in Ireland and I wouldn't find my colour foundation. It would all be like your colour.
Right, okay.
Whereas in like their countries, like the majority of people would probably be like darker, but they still won't let them have those foundations. It will more be bleaching products that they would have on the shelves to make them lighter in complexion. So basically like chemically make your skin
upon to be dark.
to be lighter in their countries. Right. Yeah, and same in Africa as well. So in these countries, like obviously beauty is something that's really pushed out, and their standard of beauty is really pushed out. And obviously to be able to kind of break the mold, you kind of quote unquote have to be beautiful and have to like.
And what's their beautiful? Like paler?
Yeah, paler.
Right, okay, yeah.
Very small features. Like, you know, like
where all of us want to be darker.
Yeah.
Putting on the tan and all the rest.
It's so wild, like how you just go to different parts of the world and like the standards of beauty are so different in different places.
Yeah.
But so my director was kind of saying like they have to work so much harder and they would have so much more pressure on them as well to make it. Because we here have something to fall back on, whereas for them, they would have been training them since they were 4. Like on Instagram, I would see like 4-year-olds in their heels like that are that big, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like platforms that big, practicing on how to be Miss Universe from that age. And like, it's not even a thing of like they're in bikinis or anything. They're in like their evening gowns practicing because that's how they believe they're going to make it out of the, you know.
And would they be the countries that most of the time would win?
Yeah, of course, because they have a lot more support and like they put so much effort into it. Like I've heard that in like the Philippines as well. And it's bigger than like soccer. It's bigger than most sports. Like you'd see it on billboards and stuff like that. Like it's a national day even to like be in pageantry and like a lot of those
they probably win and go around the country on it.
Like they're instant celebrities, like they become queens, and it's so beautiful to see as well. I honestly think it's one of the most beautiful things to see. And all my Filipino friends, I know everything about Miss Universe, I know everything about like pageantry, Miss World, Miss Earth, Miss Supernational. They know everything because like that's
Earth. So they never even. So how many is there?
So many, too many to count. Like there's Miss Earth, Miss Supernational, Miss Grand.
And what's the difference in all of them?
They all have different like goals, if that makes sense. So like Miss World,
was that be the goal to win all of them? To get to that.
If I were ever to do another pageant, it would definitely, hopefully, be Miss World. Like Miss World and Miss Universe would be the two most like prestigious ones.
What's Miss Earth?
Miss Earth is the only pageant that's actually kind of supported by the United Nations because their goal is to like raise awareness on climate change and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
And like, so their pageant is like a lot smaller, not as many people would watch it, but like obviously it's very driven in the sense of climate action.
Yeah.
Whereas like Miss Universe, I would personally say like it's more about like driven women, you know what I mean? So like in Miss Universe it would be like the doctors, the lawyers, the military women, the pilots, like those type of like ambitious women would be in Miss Universe, and they're the ones that like would win, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas in Miss World, I'd say it's more purpose driven, you know? So it's more about like your purpose project. So your advocacy, which is like, let's say Recrowned Ireland would be my advocacy, like the work I do with my non-profit. So it'd be more about the work you do with non-profits and how you help people
every
in the world.
single person who was in Miss Universe have a non-profit kind of thing on?
Not really, no. Like a lot of them would have businesses or would have worked with charities in the past, but that's not like a compulsory thing. It is important to have an advocacy, something that you stand for in like all pageants, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a non-profit, but it is like a major part of being a pageant girl anyway, is to have like a purpose thing that you're working on, like an advocacy that you've been working on for a while or that you've just started working on or something that you want to work on. Like you don't necessarily have to have it set in stone. Like if you have a dream to start a mental health foundation or something, like you can enter it, because as long as you're passionate about it and it's something that you care about, like that's all they really want to see. But like Miss Universe has like so many different aspects that they judge you on. So like they judge you on how you walk, they'll judge you on your interview, they'll judge you on
and that's walking in a pair of heels, obviously.
Yeah, walking a pair of heels in bikini and swimsuit, because they're very different. So like bikini will be more upbeat, whereas evening gown would be more like, you know, sultry, classy, yeah, that type of stuff. Whereas in this world, there's no swimsuit competition at all. So it's more, I think they have like a fitness competition, but I think they also
like a
have,
bleep test.
Imagine if that's the case. I don't even know everything about Miss World. So, but if it is a bleep test, I promise you won't see me there. You will not see me there. But yeah, I am hoping to enter Miss Ireland. Miss Universe Ireland and Miss Ireland are run by the same people now. So I am hoping to enter Miss Ireland in a few years. Or maybe next year, I don't know. Depends on
how much time you have.
How much time I have on my hands. And I don't know if I'll win. I probably, like, you never know. But we'll see.
We'll see. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So if anyone is looking to reach out, or where can they find you?
You can find me on my social media platforms. So you can find me on Aishah Akorede. Will it be on the screen or something? Or should I spell it out?
Oh yeah, because people you can find it hard to tag. Yeah.
So you can find my Instagram is Aisha.Akorede. My TikTok is Aishah Akorede, and my YouTube is Aishah Akorede. And my non-profit is, you can find us on www.recrownedireland.com or Recrowned Ireland on
I'll tag all of them,
there's so many, because if I go into the rest, like, we'll be here all day. But yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. Oh my God, that was great.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and follow us on Instagram at Demi's Nails and Beauty, or our podcast page, Unlocked Potential Podcast. See you next time.